Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of R100, a Japanese comedy thriller from 2013 that was directed by Hitoshi Matsumoto, a very popular comedian and television host who has directed 4 feature-length movies. Now, I'm a pretty big fan of this man's films, and I've wanted to cover Matsumoto in the past, but the problem is that only 2 of his films are readily available, and 2 of them are almost impossible to find nowadays. Symbol from 2009 and Scabbard Samurai from 2010 are like nowhere to be found. The good news, though, is that R100 and Big Man Japan are available for viewing, so I may as well cover those. My review of Big Man Japan will be up in the next few weeks, but tonight we're discussing R100. An ordinary businessman named Takafumi Katayama signs a contract to join a mysterious BDSM club where various dominatrixes, each with their own specialty skill, will attack and humiliate him in public. The contract lasts for 1 year, and no cancellation is allowed. At first, Takafumi is greatly pleased by his membership, but when the club's activities start to intrude into his home life, he must find a way to rectify the situation, which is slowly spiraling out of control. So now Amori is the lead actor, and he actually played Ichi the Killer in the Takashi Miike film. Now his character is a bit of a masochist, I guess you could say, who enjoys being dominated by women. One possible explanation for this is that his home life is rather stressful and unfulfilling. You learn about our main character's family life, which has some problems that are kind of out of his control. There are actually a few good dramatic elements that are fused into the story. In any case, he signs up for this role-play membership, and here are the terms. I've already given you a few terms, but this is kind of like the summary of it. You tell me if you think this is a good idea. So they say, quote, "Play does not take place inside of our club. We provide pleasure within the course of your daily life. I'm sure you'll find the tension of not knowing when will come deeply satisfying. 1-year contract, a variety of dominatrixes will appear in varying situations. Please note that no contract can be canceled mid-term. Another point to be aware of is that you must always be submissive," unquote. So they lay that out for you at the beginning during one of these meetings. And yeah, this guy's kind of partially responsible for putting himself in this situation. Although no one could ever predict the type of things that happen in the film. So the film kind of begins with a dinner scene. It gets pretty odd. And that should give you an idea of what you're in for with this film. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Matsumoto's movies, he's very outlandish, but also infuses kind of a distinct charm to his style of humor. It's kind of difficult to describe exactly because some of it is wacky and some of it is deadpan. So when you're watching R100 specifically, it's actually kind of easy to relate to the main character because he's frequently subjected to crazy events that are almost unbelievable. But he needs to find a way to deal with these events. And as a viewer, you experience the insanity along with the main protagonist, and that's what generates much of the comedy. That's kind of like the general structure that Matsumoto likes to use here, and he does a really good job with it. I mean, like I said, it's so hard to describe this movie, but the humor is driven by a lot of absurd dialogue as well as random or unexpected events. And this is certainly a very funny and unpredictable film. There are some very surprising moments that you won't see coming. There's also a subplot that involves seemingly random people who are sitting in a room. There's just these people sitting in a room, and they show them, and you're like, who are these people? What is their purpose to this story? And you have no idea. But after it's revealed to you who they are and what's going on, it's actually really funny. It's, again, not something you would predict. They're actually one of the highlights of the film. Now, if you're someone who's put off by, sadomasochistic content, there's not that much to kind of worry about in this film. I mean, yeah, there are a few perverted moments, but this is primarily a comedy. I mentioned Ichi the Killer a bit earlier. R100 is not that. It is not Ichi the Killer. There are no graphic torture scenes, and whatever violence is shown is usually played for laughs. So again, not too much to worry about here. Of course, if you have a slightly demented sense of humor, you'll probably enjoy the film a little bit more than the average person, just based on its ludicrous premise. Now, in terms of style, there's a lot of colors that are muted in this. I mean, this is practically a black and white movie, which is kind of interesting and weird. There are also some odd special effects that are used to communicate the state of mind of certain characters, so look out for that. So R100 is kind of like, it's a film that I like to recommend, especially if you're looking for something a little bit different and a little bit weird. Not a film for everyone, though. You know what I mean? Even in terms of Matsumoto's films, this is probably my fourth favorite, you know what I mean, out of the 4 films. It's entertaining for sure, but I think some of his other films are a little bit more diverse. You know what I mean? They have a little bit more, I don't know, to kind of, to chew on, so to speak. There's a little bit more going on in them. But, yeah, this is a good one. And if you end up watching this and you're not a huge fan of it, I still think you should give at least one of this director's other films a shot. It's currently on Tubi for free streaming, so that's nice. It's also on physical media. There's a Region 2 DVD and a Region A Blu-ray that you can purchase. So try it out, R100. And as always, I will see you next time.